Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. A couple of stories to talk about. Palmeiras president Leila Pereira has come out and confirmed that there are no offers on the table for the player right now. That is Danilo, but they will be open to selling and they will be open to any offers from clubs abroad. We'll be talking about Graham Bailey, who has just confirmed that Tielemans is a priority and not a risk, just like it was reported in the summer. Arsenal do not see him as a risk. They see him as a complement to their squad. Gabriel Martinelli will replace Gabriel Jesus, according to Michael Sylvester, and Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that the Saka deal, the William Saliba deal, and the Gabriel Martinelli deals will actually take some time. Arsenal are not struggling to get these deals done, but they're giving them enough time and they will happen eventually. So hit the like button. Let's get this video to 400 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We are very, very close to 61,000 subscribers. But before we get into it, guys, yesterday was a magical day for Lionel Messi, the greatest player for me in the world. I love him. I love him so much. And he won the World Cup. He absolutely did it. He completed football. And if you love Messi, hit the like button for me. And in the comment section, let's have the conversation. Is he the best in the world? Like, is he the best player we have seen ever in football? There's been the conversations about Maradona winning the World Cup and Messi never winning it. There've been the conversations about Pele winning the World Cup and Messi never doing it. Messi has also done it. Is he the best now in the world? Talk to me in the comment section, because I was very, very happy, and I hope you guys were actually thrilled. Good game, good final, good spirits, good resilience from Argentina, and good memories for Messi. But let's get into the Arsenal content right about now. First and foremost, we do have now 7 days, just 7 days to the return of the Premier League. I'm quite excited, but also very, very scared of what's going to happen after we resume. We take on West Ham, of course, after, on Boxing Day. Quite scared for that game. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to be strong. Whatever happens will happen. Whatever has to happen will happen. I know Arsenal will go on. I know Arsenal will keep on winning games. I know Arsenal will keep on trying to win the Premier League, all right? So 1 week, exactly 1 week for us to return to the Premier League. I'm going to be releasing those videos ahead of the West Ham game. Make sure you watch out for them. So let's get into the transfers. Palmeiras president Leila Pereira has just confirmed that right now we do not have any offers for Danilo, but we are very, very open to whoever wants to sign the player, and we're very open to offers from abroad. So he was asked about the possibility of Danilo leaving in January, and he said at the moment there's so many clubs that are interested. There's so many clubs that actually want the young boy, but they have not officially come to us, placed bids on our table, and talk to us officially. They're still out there trying to create a lot of noise in the media, but for now there are no open offers. The positive side, though, is that he says they will be respecting whatever the player decides to go with. They will also be respecting whatever decisions the representatives of the player will actually go with. So if Danilo decides to stay, they will not actually force a move. They will not actually try to force him out of the club. They will not sell him by force. But if he wants to go, if he wants to move, and if he wants to go on the next step and stage of his career, still they will not actually stand in his way. I think that's a very, very positive report from Leila Pereira, because literally most of these presidents will come out and say he's not for sale, he's a player, we love him here. Anyone who wants him has to pay high price. Anyone who wants him has to pay 100 million euros. But that is not what he said. He's actually come out and say, look, he's a player we love. He's a player we appreciate his value. We love him so much. And he's one of the key players in this side. But if he wants to go, we will actually stand out of his way. We will let him go. We will agree to the terms that he actually sets, as long as there is a club that comes in, officially talks to us, and then meet our requirements. I think this one is going to be an easy one for any club to do in January. Get the money, place it onto the table, and you have Danilo. Now, what I understand from Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein's interview yesterday is that Danilo, Arsenal do have good relationships with Danilo's representatives, and that gives them a very huge advantage in the race. However, the club that bids first for me always takes the player. In such easy deals, in such easy circumstances, the club that comes in with the real money, with the real intention to sign, with the real interest, will be the club signing the player. But I still feel we will get him. I still feel Arsenal want him. I still feel we might get 2 midfielders in January. And there is that part of me that just tells me, Cossy, Tielemans in January might not happen. We're going to talk about Yuri Tielemans here, according to Graham Bailey. But there is that part of me that feels Tielemans signs for Arsenal in 2023, but 6 months later, after my birthday, all right? And that is in June. And that is him signing for us as a free agent. I want him in January, but I won't be very surprised if Leicester make the decision to keep him and let him go for free in the summer. So maybe Danilo is the right deal for Arsenal to do. And of course, with Thomas Partey's uncertainty, injury prone, and all things like that, you need a player like Danilo to come in, sit there, and probably provide that kind of cover that we have always asked for. So, very nice update from the president. Now, Arsenal have to step up their game. Now, we know what Palmeiras think. We know what the players think, the player side think as well. They have no problems with Arsenal. It is totally okay for them to come to the Premier League, to come to Arsenal Football Club. So let's wait and see if Arsenal make a real offer now, because yesterday I did report about offers as reported by Rudy Galletti, but according to the president, they don't have any real offers on the table. Maybe they're trying to hide it as well. I mean, that could be a reason. Try to hide it as well, to create a bigger market, right? To create a bigger market and allow all these teams to believe they can actually be the first to get his signing. But anyway, let's wait and see what comes out of there. Graham Bailey, again, another journalist that is becoming predominantly popular on my feed, has released another story around Arsenal's midfield concerns, and he's actually said something very, very interesting. He's one of the journalists that I think don't just publish, but they publish for a reason. Now, this is what he said. Graham Bailey, Arsenal want a midfielder, and Tielemans is now seen as their priority after following him for more than 12 months. It's not seen as a risk, but someone who can complement what they already have. That is Graham Bailey, talking to Team Talk. Now, there was a story that was published by The Athletic, and The Athletic are very, very credible. And they say that one of the reasons as to why we didn't sign Yuri Tielemans is we felt he was more of a risk due to his physical defects and also lack of awareness and losing the ball and things like that. And I remember I came out and challenged that story, and I said that was absolute cap. That was absolute, I think it was lazy journalism. It was all about Arsenal looking into it and going, we have Xhaka, we have Fabio Vieira. We can wait for Tielemans' price to drop in January. If it doesn't drop by then we can wait for him in the summer and sign him on a free. All right. It had nothing, in my opinion, to do with physicality. Because for me, I don't think Yuri Tielemans is not a physical player. You look at him. You look at his build. You look at you look at him. You can't convince me enough that he's actually not a physical player, right? So Graham Bailey says we want a midfielder as quickly as we can, and Yuri Tielemans is now seen as a priority for the club, not a risk. A player who can complement our style and what we have already. And for me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You look at those half crosses that he loves. When you play against Belgium, I don't know how they've not done anything sensible in any of the big tournaments. Probably the last chance they have is the Euro 2026. That is the last chance they will ever have to do something with this squad. But when you look at them and how they line up, you have those half crosses coming in from Yuri Tielemans almost in the middle of the park. And then you have those half crosses coming in from Kevin De Bruyne again from the middle of the park. And in my opinion, I'm like, how do you stop that, right? Up front, they have the likes of Lukaku. They have the likes of, Batshuayi. And how do you even stop that? And I think when it comes in at Arsenal, Martin Odegaard's responsibility will actually be more of upgraded. This time we'll have two players that really love creating chances. He can score a cracker. He has scored a couple of them for Leicester City this season, just to push them out of the relegation zone. And he's actually done that. And I'm quite envious. If he had scored those crackers for Arsenal against Southampton, we would have picked up more points in that game. But no worries. Graham Bailey says they look at him as a priority. They want him. And let's wait and see what's going to happen with that one. Michael Sylvester has suggested that Gabriel Martinelli can play where Gabriel Jesus plays. Now, Sylvester is one of those players that I didn't really love during their career paths. I didn't rate him a lot as a player. But now that he's an ex-player, maybe he sees things in a very, very different perspective compared to me as a mere fan. So he says that Gabriel Martinelli is a solution to the absence of Gabriel Jesus. And I might not actually disagree very much, because if you're looking for someone that is quite relentless, if you're looking for someone who's quite very strong, if you're looking for someone who's very, very clinical, that is Gabriel Martinelli. The only training Martinelli will need is training him to be patient in that penalty area, because as a fox in the box, as a number 9, at times you need that kind of patience. Yes, it's not the ball, and the game is never played in the 18-yard area, in the 18-yard box of your opponent. It's never there. It's never played there. It's always in the middle of the park, all right? So if he can be that patient, wait for his chances to come, and maybe drop a little bit deeper at times, just to help us progress further, further the pitch. Yeah, maybe. But I would prefer Martinelli on the left, in my opinion. But if Mykhailo Mudryk comes in, instead of dropping Martinelli, I would play Martinelli down to the middle, Saka on the right, and Mykhailo Mudryk on the left. And when Gabriel Jesus comes back, then the selection headaches can come back by then. But of course, look, nice suggestion from Sylvester. Very, very nice suggestion from Michael Sylvester. David Onstein, he was talking to Taters TV, talked about a couple of issues. In the next episode of this podcast, we're going to be diving into much of his interview and more of the stories that he was actually talking about, especially in regards to Arsenal. But he has said that we are likely to see Arsenal trying for some of the World Cup stars. Now, we've been linked with Sofiane Amrabat. We've been linked with Sofiane Boufal. We've been linked with Enzo Fernandez. We've been linked with Mehdi Taremi at FC Porto, the Iran striker. We've been linked with a couple of them. So he was asked whether we might see a few movements here and there from World Cup stars, and he said definitely. And I think, look, that is quite straightforward. We will see these players move on. We will see some of the biggest names actually move on. It's going to be crazy prices. That is why I think Arsenal could do themselves a favor by running away from all these players that have actually done well in the World Cup. It's going to be huge, crazy price tags. Like Enzo Fernandez, it could be 80 million. Like Cody Gakpo, it could be 60 million. Like Mehdi Taremi, maybe if it was going to cost us like 35, it could be like 45 million euros. They're going to be increase in prices. But David says we are likely to see Arsenal try for some of these World Cup stars. Give them some time, maybe scout them a little bit further. And then in the summer, we might see Arsenal making bids and making some steps to sign some of these stars. I would love, I would love a World Cup hero like Enzo Fernandez, not bad. I thought Acuna also is a good guy for Argentina. Colomouani, Marcus Thuram as well for France. Not bad players in my opinion. Fofana for France as well in that midfield. Not a bad player. Not at all. So let's wait and see, right? Let's wait and see. But World Cup stars, give them some more time, like another 6 months. If they do what they've done in the World Cup, sign them. But if they don't replicate what they've done at the World Cup, probably it could be burnout. Probably it could be that the conditioning is quite different. I wouldn't sign a player who has 7 good games and then has 5 bad months, okay, of football. I would definitely not do that. So finally, Fabrizio Romano has said that Arsenal are not struggling and they're not failing to convince Saka, Martinelli, and William Saliba. They are not failing. It is just that these deals are going to take them some time. They're going to reopen negotiations with the three of them. Okay, so we are not struggling. That's the biggest part. We are not failing to convince them. We are actually going to take some time to agree on the deals. Now, I want to believe that Arsenal have this in control. And when it gets out of control, I don't know what I'll tell you guys, okay? But for now, let's all believe that Arsenal have in control. When we lose control, I don't know what I would say. Maybe I would say, I'm sorry. I don't know. But hit the like button, continue donating, and I'll see you very, very soon.